Yeah, so haven't made a video in a while, and I don't think I've made a video showing how to use Stockfish. You can get that on a Windows or Mac, so it's kind of interesting. Actually, I heard recently, I think one of my opponents was saying that he got as a free member, he got one free computer analysis a day, so maybe they have upgraded that privilege. Should check that out. Um, but yeah, so anyway, while this chess.com is processing, I can show you how to do a Stockfish, and this was a kind of an interesting game anyway. So yeah, so this database is like 100,000 moves or 100,000 games, and you can get other databases to save in there. It's like some free one with like 6 million that I had at one point. I'm just gonna close that so the board's bigger. And yeah, so you just download your PGN, and I can show you how to put Stockfish on computer sometime when I'm down there. And then you just open that PGN file. Let's see where my downloads. And he had white here, and then you just turn on your. For some reason, you have to push it twice. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So let's see. So these are the moves up here, and these are the the analysis. You can move things around. Like if you want to dock it up here, you could do that. Then the notations are here. Maybe it's easier to see up there. So okay. So anyway, yeah, he played this was a 15-10 game, so we got to think about the moves, and he played the fried liver. It's kind of funny, I guess. Like at some point, well, maybe the ratings don't make as much sense on the 15-minute games. Sometimes I can't figure them out, but I know at 10-minute, like you got to a point where people kind of stopped playing the fried liver as much. But when they did play it, the people who wanted to keep playing it were people who, thought that this was cool to play this Queen F3 move. And I don't think the computer likes it that much. I mean, you're already they're giving black an advantage, and black's going to lose another pawn, so black's going to be on two whole pawns, and they're giving him a slight advantage with bishop e7. There's also this rook ba move, which is kind of cool. So when you do this in the Stockfish school, you can add new variation, and then you will be able to flip back in a minute. So yeah, so the way this would go is, I think I might have shown this before. You've got this funky little knight move, which blocks the check, and then if he moves the queen, then it will help protect this e pawn. And the other thing that this does that's just kind of nice, which is I used to like this better, is that it immediately gets out of the way of the f pawn, and that allows for a faster f pawn push, which is pretty cool. So for some reason the computer doesn't like this as much. I'm not sure why. Like I guess you'd have to carry it out pretty far. I mean it's kind of similar, really similar. I mean it's like a draw instead of very 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 minusculely slightly in black's favor. So I guess either one of these is pretty fine. I have to play around with them. But anyway, that's kind of what the board. And you have some cool ideas, like, you're going to play bishop e7, so you have two attackers on this knight, so the bishop won't be enough. You can play rook b6, get a tempo on the queen, and slide the rook over, which is pretty cool. You can play bishop b7 and get on this diagonal if he's not that careful. I mean, white's really gotta be careful to survive this. So anyway, I'm gonna play that in the game. And in Stockfish, if you want to go back to the point where you had a fork in the road, where you kind of examine different variations, you hit this green arrow back, and then you see the two. So, oops, what did we do here? Okay, so this is the one in the game. Okay, so still white takes. So white is up 2 pawns now, but now I think the main difference here, well, there's two differences that I see. One is that I'm blocking my f pawn, which I don't like that much. But the good thing is that here I'm getting a tempo when I block the check, whereas with the knight move I wasn't getting a tempo and my piece was pinned. So I think that's why the computer likes it a little bit better, just because you're getting a tempo out of it. So queen c4 is the best move because it's an immediate mate threat and forces me to castle. So also too, it's kind of annoying that this queen is on this diagonal, because I do want to push this f pawn at some point. It's like one of the principal ideas, I think, is to start pushing these pawns with tempos, but you have to do it, obviously at the right time. But so here I'm down 2 pawns, but the computer's already got me kind of in a draws position, so you can imagine that means that he's got to be really careful. And you can see all these lines, like white basically only has one move in a lot of times where he's not getting, like, slowly getting into a really bad position. So here I thought for a while, and yeah, the computer wants, say I knew this, the computer wants to play rook c8. This is what I was considering. I just didn't like that he's getting this with check, and then I mean, I'm down 2 pawns, so I don't want to lose a piece, but I do have the bishop pair, and he's got one sorry developed piece. Actually, now that I look at this, I actually kind of do like it because, well, where's he going to go? I guess this blocks this pawn. Attack the queen. Where's the queen going? Here, I guess. Okay, that makes sense. So, but yeah, if you look at the board now, okay, Jesus, I mean, he's got one developed piece. I've got both of my bishops out. My queen's open. My rook's open. My other rook can quickly come in. My pawn center is probably mobile. He's still not even castled yet, so yeah, this looks pretty good. I'd have to play around with that for a little while to see. Okay, so anyway, yeah, the computer didn't like this. Is one of my I think mistakes. Although maybe this evaluation will go down. You have to leave it on for a while. That's the other thing. But yeah, I didn't want to trade. Yeah, the computer even likes trading better than what I did. I mean, I guess the good thing about trading, I didn't think about this. Just because, again, I didn't want to get this. But yeah, I guess I have... I probably would have played f5 and dropped my pawn here or something stupid. But yeah, what am I doing here? Yeah, still rook c8 because I want to play this bishop over. So if he castles... Bishop b5, huh? Interesting. Okay, well, anyway, I don't want to go too far into that. That's not too bad either, but yeah, if I can get the computer even wants to sack another pawn here, that's kind of funny. Okay, anyway, yeah, I had this idea in my head where I was going to try to go after f2, and I wanted to play things like when I could, well, f5, then bishop c5, then queen h4, and get a lot of pieces on this f2 pawn, but I didn't quite manage it. But yeah, he's already in trouble. Like, you look at these evaluations. I have it set to just show 4. If you install it on your computer, I can show you how to do that, because like the default is something like 16 or something crazy, but it makes the computer work really hard. And I mean, you're not going to play the 16th best move, so, or you're not going to even care to look at it, right? But yeah, so anyway, my idea didn't quite work out. Rook c8 would make sense. And here, I mean, black has to be careful too. I mean, I am down the 2 pawns, so I don't want to start making, like, all my moves kind of have to be forcing. I think one of the helpful things for white is that he usually has like one move to find, so he's not like totally killed, or at least getting in a bad position. But I think sometimes it's easier to find when you only have one move. But I guess the good thing for me is, like, if he doesn't find it, then he's in trouble. So yeah, all these moves are already giving me an advantage again. But here I had some good ideas, but I played them in the wrong order. I liked this, getting a tempo here, getting my pawns moving, but I didn't think about this. I mean, yeah, it wasn't even his best move. I was just thinking if he played knight g3 that I was going to start to get some pressure, but again, my idea didn't really make any sense. But anyway, okay, he played this, and I moved the knight. I thought for like 4 minutes here. I was just trying to see if I could find a way to do it without moving the knight, but his knight's got this square covered, so I can't attack the queen, and I just didn't like him taking and me taking, and then he's got an open file. Maybe he can castle queenside, and then maybe I'm the one getting attacked, so I retreated it. And then here I had kind of the right idea, but I played the wrong move order, because the computer wants me to play f4 right away. But yes, this was silly. I don't know why. I think I had this idea left over from before, like, oh, I'm going to try to get some pressure on f2, but of course it makes no sense now. Although the computer, yeah, it's going back down. It was at first not liking it at all. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the advantage here too. It's like you can play some different moves. I mean, he can't ever take this pawn because I can just, until he castles anyway, he can't take that pawn because I can just win this queen. So so anyway, yeah, I should have played f4 first. And it's funny, we'll have to check out maybe sometime like why the move order matters so much here, but it might get kind of complicated because here I'm only getting a small advantage. But yeah, every move I had to really think, because I mean, okay, he can start to simplify here. And I didn't want him to take the bishop on c5, then I take the rook with the rook, and then he plays another knight here, and then he gets a tempo. So I wanted to put some pressure right away, and this f-pawn often causes destruction. I got lucky that his queen was here because it forces him to take it. And now he's got some weaknesses, so then my idea was to get this knight as quickly as possible over to d4, where it hits both c2 and I mean, like if, for example, if I get my knight to d4 and he takes here and I take with the rook, and then he plays his other knight over for a tempo on the rook, it doesn't matter anymore, because if I got my knight here, then I play the rook up here and just take the c2 pawn. So that was my idea. Also, from d4, it's got an eye here on f3 with check, and it's defended by the rook, so he can't really let that knight get there. Okay, attack the queen. I guess that was a mistake, because like normally if you get this queen bishop battery, the knight can play this really annoying move like over to a4 on the other side over to like h4 sometimes, or h5 or whatever. But he can't do that here because my bishop, which doesn't look to be doing a whole lot, at least it's got that square. But yeah, he took this, and this is my other mistake, I think. I really did think about taking with the rook here, and that's what the computer wants. For some reason I had in my head, like I was annoyed by this move, and for some reason I just wasn't thinking about taking it. Like, oh, even better is this. Yeah, I'm so silly. This is really good because the knight's not protected. Like, a lot of times when you take this pawn, the person can just play this rook over, and then you got to move the queen over, and it's no good. Whoops. But the bishop's not protected, so then I take this with check, and then yeah, it's just all over. Yeah, even if he takes this here, no, he can't do that. Okay, attack the queen maybe. Here. Yeah, this is no good. He still can't take this pawn because I got rook e8. Bishop goes back. Knight, tempo on the queen. No, he's probably got a cat. Yeah, he's got a castle. This is horrible. Probably, yeah, take the file. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, maybe he should have played. Okay, yeah, attack this pawn. At least he's doing something. Computer wants to play a5 and just let him take this. Oh, I guess, yeah, because you start to advance this pawn, and then this exchange is just lost. Yeah, and then your king's open. Pawns, I mean, he's up a pawn, but he's down the exchange. I have two outside passers. Active queen. I don't know, this is terrible. Yeah, so I should have played that. So yeah, that was my big missed opportunity, I guess. Even better than the one before. It's amazing how these fried liver games are. I'm starting to like not be so annoyed by it. I'm more interested because it really forces you to like be on your game with the tactics, and I do miss a lot of them, but it's good practice. So anyway, that's why rook c5 was better, and okay, but yeah, in the game I took with the queen. Okay, so it's still a small advantage, but yeah, this is amazing. Like, this just looks like a good move, but again, I think I missed an opportunity here. But yeah, he's already in trouble. That looks like such a logical move. I probably would have played it too. Who's gonna play king f1, right? Yeah, this is correct, and I'm realizing now that I had the wrong idea. I was thinking he couldn't castle because I was thinking, oh, I can take this because my queen is opposite the king, but obviously queenside castling, my queen's not opposite the king. So, but the computer says that he still can't castle because rook b8, which I didn't see. And now, how are you going to protect this pawn? I mean, if you push it, you just lose the knight, right? And you probably have to push it, right? What else? You could run with the king, I guess. Okay, so anyway, okay, I took with the queen. He went back. I played this correctly, and he didn't castle. He played the bishop over here, which is a mistake because I finally get to play this knight d4 move that I wanted to play. And yeah, now, I mean, it's all falling apart. He got a little bit desperate here. His time was really low. He was under a minute now. And yeah, now his bishop is blocking this c2 square. So I'm going to get this check in. If he moves the knight, then my rook's also on that. I've also got this check coming if I want on f3, protected by the rook. My bishop still isn't really playing, but it could get on one of these diagonals. Like, you could imagine it maybe getting on this diagonal if the queen had to move over here. I mean, this is just terrible. So, yeah, he tried to get crazy now. But it's always funny, like, man, like when you miss this stuff and people get out of these jams sometimes. But yeah, again, the computer wanted me to take here. I didn't like the idea of him taking with check here, but I think the idea is that if he takes here, then I'm taking with check, and then probably taking this too with check. Oh, wow, interesting. I didn't think about this. I probably just would have taken the queen, taken this, and then I'm still attacking 2 pawns, and I don't think he can protect them both. So it's fine, like something like this. Yeah, what's he gonna do here? I mean, something like that. Where's my knight going here? Oh, I don't even I can just play out here, because if he takes it, then I've got this this skewer, or at least for a move. That's kind of interesting. So that's, even if I had done what I probably would have done, that would have been good. But yeah, the computer wants to take this check here. Yeah, the queen is pinned. That's funny. King e2, unpinning. Wow. Yeah, okay, check. Wow, this is getting crazier and crazier. Giving up the queen here? There must be a mate. Oh yeah, this is a mate threat. Okay, so he can't take this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, I wouldn't have found all this, but anyway, it gets pretty crazy. So, but anyway, I didn't take on b2. I guess I should have. I did think about it, but I also said that I could just, oops. I saw that I could just play back here. I didn't want to play to c5, because then he had this annoying bishop pin, and I can't move the knight, and I probably lose my advantage. So yeah, he tried to get tricky here. I mean, he was like down to like 15 seconds now, I think. So, but I sat here. I had like 10 minutes on the clock, so I was like, huh. No, I didn't. I had like 7 or 8 minutes. And at first, I was like, for a split second, I was like really annoyed. I was like, oh man, did he just get out of this? You know, because you really hate when you play like a game like this and people get out of it. But then I just realized I could just take the knight. So this doesn't work, because I'm just taking the queen, and you know, I'm already on f3. What are you gonna do? I mean, you can only play f4 to stop it momentarily. But yeah, I'm gonna infiltrate, and I tried to play the game against the computer at the end, just because I like to do that when I have like a winning position, and the person like lets the time run out. But yeah, I'm gonna infiltrate, and we get both my major pieces on this file before he can do anything about it. It's like if he tries to, like if I were playing him, I'd probably try to just connect my rooks or something. But yeah, geez, there's so many ideas. I mean, this is, wow, this is really strong. I don't know if I would have found that. Just attacking this pawn, and yeah, what are you gonna do here? Try to protect that pawn. I'm coming in this way. I've still got the extra piece, so I can come after that. And any way you cut it, I mean, this is bad. So, oh yeah, he's gonna lose a rook here, so. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, yeah, there's probably wasn't a way. I mean, the other thing, I think when I played against the computer, it did something like this. Like, when the computer plays something like that, you know you're lost, and I don't know, something like this, and I don't even know. Oh, even better was, I didn't see that. I was just playing against the computer. My idea was just to get the rook here, but even better is over here. I don't even think you can protect the rook, right? Well, anyway, I don't think there's anything you can do about that. So anyway, it was a pretty interesting game. At one point, I had given up 3 pawns when I played this f-pawn sacrifice. So I gave up the one in the beginning of the opening, the Polario pawn, whatever you want to call it, and then because he plays this queen f3 line, I give up another pawn. So I could understand why white thinks this is good, right? You're going to get 2 pawns out of the opening. It seems ridiculous. But you got to give him one of your bishops, and you just open up the entire board. So, yeah, this is fun to play as black, I got to say. So, yeah, I gave up the 2 pawns, and then this f-pawn push, I gave up a 3rd one. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting. I guess my chess.com analysis would be done now. I'd be curious if they call these like actual mistakes that we saw in the game. Yeah, mistakes 3, blunders 1. Let's see where my blunder was. Yeah, here. So it kind of agrees with Stockfish. Rook c8 first. Let's see how far they carry it out. Fiend shadowing, that's kind of interesting. I guess the idea is to play back and then push this f-pawn and just have like a monster storm here. But, yeah, same thing. They're calling this a mistake too. They don't always agree, actually, the 2 computers. Stockfish is way stronger than the chess.com analysis, I think. Yeah, f4 first. So let's see what, actually we'll get a chance to look at this here. So f4 first, and I get this in, and I'm quickly getting the knight over. So why is it that they have to play f4 here? Like, why not transpose into the game, right? In any case, yeah, this is the idea. My knight's getting the d4 faster. So I had the right idea, but I didn't do it fast enough. It's getting there before the bishop can come out, and that's a huge problem. Yeah, so that's why the computer wants to play f4 here, because it sees that after my knight comes to d4 that I'm going to have this check, but right now I don't have this check. So, kind of interesting. Yeah, and if maybe, like, yeah, queen back to protect the square, then maybe I can take this, yeah, so many things going on. But anyway, okay, so exactly what happened in the game. Oh, they wanted to do this. Just castle, that would have been a lot better. A lot of people do play on the queen side on me. I guess that makes sense. They got the pawn advantage there. So, yeah, and again, rook takes c5. But none of these were blunders yet, so now that's probably why I missed one of these moves here. Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking here, but okay, anyway. Yeah, he gets in trouble. Yeah, this is my blunder, okay. Not because I'm losing, but because I lost like more than 3 points in the advantage or something. Yeah, so queen takes b2, and I would have like, oh yeah, it's more than 2 points in an advantage. I guess that's how they defined blunder. Yeah, that's just exactly what they said. Okay, so yeah, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting stuff here. Oh, they give another line here too. Okay, anyway. Yeah. C4, yeah, I didn't think about that. Just giving up the queen, but I mean, he had to do something. Maybe he can hope to try to play with the pawns, but I doubt it. But yeah. Mate and 6. Yeah, this wasn't the mate and 6 was up here like we saw. And there's just no getting out of it. Yeah, just like we saw on the computer, but yeah, here it doesn't really matter. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, I guess the computer analyses agreed like almost 100% on this, but yeah, pretty cool to check out Stockfish sometime so you can use it. And I hope you like that game. All right, later.